Good day all. This is another engine to show you. I recently got on eBay. It is an Irvine 20.2 cubic inch, 3.5 cc ABC radio control. It was made sometime in the 70s, I think, by Irvine, a London company, who alas no longer operate, but towards the end of their operations they made the Mills tribute engine, Mills 75 and Mills 1.3, as well as this one. They made some big glow engines and some fine diesels also. This is, as I said, a glow. It's quite interesting in that it has, I think, the original glow plug, because you may or may not see there, it has a bar across the filament. I think that's to stop things flooding. I'm not sure what the correct name for that sort of plug is, but I think that's possibly original. I can't get that back, can I? Yes, I can. So this is an interesting engine in that it's a double bull race, of course, Schnorler ported, which means it has extra bypass ports from the, where's it gone? From the crankcase up to the ports in the line, and there are in fact 3 transfer ports, I think they call them. One at the front, you can see that there, I think, one at the side, a big one, and one at the back, another big one. That means that this little brute has 9 ports in there, 3 exhaust, which you can see the little bar which divides the whole port into 3, and 6 inlet ports. This may go some way to define, to account for the exceptional power of this engine. It put out under test by the famous Peter Chin. There's his review in Model Aircraft News, February 84. The power curves there, you can't read them, but I will. It put out 0.8 something, nearly 0.9 of a brake horsepower, which in those days for an engine this size was remarkable. It was actually the most powerful engine Irvine made, I think, per cc. To put that in context, it puts out about double the power of an Oliver major diesel, same size, and about double the power of a Rivers silver aero, I think it is, also the same size. Admittedly, these diesels were a wee bit older, but this thing really moved on the bar power-wise. I got this, I'll tell you a little story about its background, but I got this, it hadn't been used for years, so it was gummed up. So I gave it the usual hot bath in oil, or bath in hot oil, to free it up. I replaced the cap heads there and the cap heads there, because they do get worn with time. I put a new I put a new gasket on the back plate, and also a very thin one on the cylinder head. So this thing really belts. It swings a 10x6 prop like a toothpick. You've probably seen lots of Irvine engines, so that's not really news. But I got this from a nice seller on eBay who said it had come from her late uncle's collection. This man was in fact a real aeronautic engineer, worked for several firms which later became British Aerospace. He looked after this engine very well because it's really in fine condition. My seller said that her dear uncle was interested in, or perhaps supported, a couple of restoration trusts, one for a Lancaster and one for a Spitfire, which is interesting. And believe it or not, when I fired this thing up and it went first flick once I'd freed it up, I walked down from the top of the garden where I was doing it to the house, and a Spitfire flew overhead. Now, that's true story. I think it's the NHS supporting Spitfire, but it doesn't matter. I've seen 1 in 30 years around here, and I fly this thing, get this thing going, and one flies overhead. Wow. So there you are, Tricia. I hope this does justice to your engine and to your lovely uncle. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.